The instrument that we've invented, we know how to use, but the other 7.5 billion people don't.
I would learn everything there is to know about AI, and I would go to small and medium-sized businesses and say, let me walk in the door.
The output is that I will be a very good salesman. The inputs is that I have to collect 5,000 no's. If I collect 5,000 no's, I'll be a very good salesman.
Right now, if you're trying to get clients, you're probably doing it manually, one email, one cold DM, one cold call at a time. And today we're going to change that because this email right here from a dentist came in while I was asleep. It booked a call and I never even touched the conversation because Claude runs my entire cold email machine now. It helps me find the leads. It drafts emails in my voice. It sends them. And then when somebody replies, they automatically get a response and we book them in. I've been building this cold email machine since 2024, running it for our agency just to fill our own calendars. And now I've saved my whole setup as 2 commands that we can run inside of Claude Cowork to set this up for businesses and help them generate leads too. I've made well over $300,000 with cold email, and it all started in August 2024 when we first started running it, which helped our AI company scale to $50,000 and $80,000 months in 2025. I'll show you the exact build, the setup that actually gets you into the inbox instead of spam, and then the strategy behind actually booking calls and landing clients with this. By the end of this, you'll be able to point this at any niche or set it up for clients to actually book calls. So let's build it. The whole email machine is just 2 things. Claude is the brain and Gmail is the infrastructure. And we're going to be using Instantly as the hands that will do the sending and will handle replies for us. And in a few minutes, I'm going to be building the whole lead list with a tool called Clay. We're going to use it to find the businesses and the decision makers' emails for the email campaign. And you can integrate Clay with Instantly to automate the verification and the upload process so you can scale this into an automated machine. First, we set up where the email actually sends from. So we're going to head over to instantly.ai and we're just going to click on get started. Once you're in, we're going to head over to email accounts and then click on add new. And rule number 1 with cold email is you never use your main domain because there is a chance that it will get blacklisted or it will be sent to spam. So now you have 2 ways of setting up the account. You can either buy a pre-warmed account or you can just have Instantly set up everything for you on a new Gmail account. The only difference is that the pre-warmed accounts you can start sending a lot faster because they don't need the 20 to 30 day warm-up inside of Instantly like a new Gmail would. If the pre-warmed accounts are not sold out, I would recommend getting them so that you can just start sending pretty much immediately. But if they're not available, click on Gmail, type in a new domain that's a slightly different variation of your company name, find it down here, and we're going to click on next. You then set up the forwarding domain to your business website, and then Instantly will already have suggested all of the inboxes right here. Rule of thumb is that per domain that you usually have between 3 and 5 inboxes. And once you purchase this, all of the technical stuff like the DNS settings will be handled for you, and it's also going to be enabling warm up for you as well. And the boring tech part is actually the most important thing because if something is broken inside of the tech, it doesn't matter how good of a list you build or how good your copy is if people will never open it. But once the tech is in order, we can focus on the list, because if you have a bad list, then it doesn't matter how good your copy is if the wrong people they receive it. And then we're going to be focusing on actually writing good copy, because if we're actually landing in the inbox and we're sending to the right people, all we need is a strong and solid offer that will help us convert people into clients. And to double check that everything is set up correctly, you can use this site right here, mxtoolbox.com, type in the domain that you're using for cold email, and then click on MX lookup. And it's going to tell you right here if you have any big problems, but you can also click on find problems to actually get a full breakdown of everything. And if you're just seeing warnings like the SOA serial number or reverse DNS, these actually don't affect your deliverability, so it doesn't matter. But all I would have to do here is just add a logo to my inboxes. Now that we have Instantly and our mailboxes set up, we're going to be giving Claude the keys to actually use this for us so we don't have to touch anything. Now we head over to Claude and we drop in our cold email skills. This will help you do the full setup. Take a look at the files and the skills in here and help me set up the Instantly MCP. And you can download this package. It should be the 3rd link in the description. All right, now all Claude needs is our API key. So we're going to copy this, put it down here, delete your API key, head back over to Instantly, click on your profile icon down here, click on settings, then go over to integrations, click on API keys, create API key, and then just call it Claude OS, and then click on all scopes. And then you click on create. We copy the entire API key. We then head back to Claude, copy in our API key here so we have the entire URL. Then head over to customize, click on connectors, and then click on add custom connector. we just call it instantly. And then we type in the connectors list right here with our API key in it, and then click on connect. And then all we have to do is just authorize it the final time. All right, so it's working. And when we see that the instantly MCP is connected, what we're going to do is we're going to use the first skill to then apply all of our settings when it comes to the daily sending, the warm up, and literally everything in here. Perfect. Now use the first skill to set up our entire instantly account. Write down all of the settings and everything that is in the skill. And now this skill will handle the full account setup and the best cold email settings that I've personally used for the past years. And right after this, we're going to be doing the exact same thing, but with our cold email campaign itself. Now, all of our proven warm-up settings are added to the account. It changed everything that is in here, and it also even checked that our DNS records are all good and passed. So now that our instantly account is set up correctly, we can start drafting the first campaign. Perfect. Now let's set up a campaign for dentists in Miami using our cold email skill. All right, so the campaign is created and verified. We have the full 5 email sequence for voice receptionists that we usually use. And then all there's left to do is load in a verified lead list. So let's go over to instantly and then see what it actually set up. So it made dentists in Miami voice receptionist. So let's see what it actually cooked up. All right, so it's using our highest converting subject line, which is literally just cleaning up all the company names that we're going to be sending to, and then using just the company name as the subject line. And then first we have our opener right here, which is working perfectly. Thought about calling your clinic over lunch and after you close, but I figured I'd write first. Then we have the observation, and then we have their ideal scenario right here. And then we have the risk reversal, like saying we already built it, we already made an example, and if they would mind taking a look. A really high intent but low pressure call to action right here. And then we have our second follow-up right here, which is also super high converting. One of our biggest clients actually responded to this email right here. And then on the second follow-up, we always make a lead magnet. So in this case, this is a lost revenue calculator where we say that we already put together a revenue calculation for their specific clinic, shop, or office. And then if they want to see how much revenue is actually slipping through. Next follow-up, I had a bit of time to write to you. Did you get any chance to see my message? And then the last follow-up is really just a Hail Mary. We try to hit them with a different offer because for some reason this didn't resonate with them. So for the dentist, we offered to implement a Google review AI to get them more Google reviews. Now these sequences are literally perfect and based on the exact frameworks that we use for our own campaigns. Now let's head over to schedule. Now for the schedule, it's going to use my standard schedule. It's going to find my time zone. Then it's going to start sending from 7 a.m. So just before they come into office, our email is going to be in their inbox. And then we're not going to be sending past 4 p.m. because then there's a chance that they don't look at the email end of day. And then it gets to sit there overnight and it's bottom of their inbox once they get into the office. And for the same reason, we're only going to be sending Monday to Friday. And this is also going to be helping your deliverability because you're going to be acting like a normal person that does not work on Saturdays and Sundays. Inside of options, the most important part is that it disabled link tracking and it sends email as text only, no HTMLs. And for the daily limit of your campaign, calculate this yourself by taking the amount of inboxes you have and multiply it by 20. So you're going to be sending 20 emails per day per inbox you have. It also copied all of my advanced settings, but these ones are not as important. Now, all our machine needs is people to email. This is where I use Clay. It finds the businesses and the decision makers in those companies. And Clay is sponsoring this video. We've been using them since 2024 for our own cold email campaigns, even before we even did YouTube or any content at all. So it's really cool to see that they wanted to sponsor the video. And the first link in the description is going to give you the exact prompt that we'll use to find the leads. And then it's going to give you a 2-week free trial and 2,000 credits, which is going to be more than enough to actually get you your first couple batches of leads. So thanks to Clay for sponsoring the video. And now let's run this prompt. Now on the left hand side, this is pre-populated. We want to find dentists. And then I want company sizes to end at 200, not 200 plus included, because once these client gets bigger than 200 employees, they get harder to land and it just takes more time and it's honestly not worth it. And we're not going to be including any countries. We're just going to be including Miami for this run, and we're going to head down to continue, and then we are going to save to a new workbook and table. Now for the company scrape, we don't actually need any of these enrichments. All we have to do is go out to the domain and then open them up one by one, do 5 or 10 to just see that these are companies that are actually our ideal clients. And after checking, I can see that this is a perfect example of a B2C dentist office. So once you've checked that it's actually finding the right companies for you, you're going to head down and click on create table. And now to find the people and the decision makers inside of the company, we're going to click on add and then click on find people. Now it found 126 people just in Miami from our search criteria, but I actually want to narrow this down a bit more so we only get the decision makers. And the way we do this is we head over to ChatGPT and we tell ChatGPT to make a list of everyone that is above manager for dental companies. And it's very important that we mention the niche right here, because then it's going to give us the industry specific job titles within the dental world, like dental operations, director of practice operations, and so on. Now we copy this entire thing and we head back to Clay. We then click on add filters and then click on job attributes, and then click on job title. Click down here where it says software engineer, and then we just paste in our entire list of 80 job titles, which is now going to give us 73 decision makers that we can reach out to only in our little area. And I would suggest starting out by doing this in your own local area first, which is going to give you a huge advantage because you're there locally. Now we head down to continue and we select save to new table. And then inside of enrichments, we're going to select work email and then click on save. And this right here will start a waterfall, which basically will go through all the data providers like Hunter, Prospeo, and so on, to then guarantee that you can actually find the email that you're looking for. And if it only starts out by doing the 10 first, all you have to do is click on this little play button up here and then click on run empty rows. And then after running through all of these data providers, you're going to get the work email section out here. You can click on work email and then click on sort from A to Z, which will then show us exactly how many emails we found. And we can see that we found 41 out of 57 emails, which is basically 80% of the emails from the people that are in here. And keep in mind, you can do this with hundreds of people at a time. And now to export this, we're going to head over to tools and then click on export and then download as CSV. And if you want even more leads, you can head over to find leads and then use the local businesses instead. Type in exactly what you're looking for here and then click on continue to new table. Change the radius here and then search for dentists Miami, and then click on import to new table, and then do the exact same process where you click on the add button and then click on find people. And a very important step is actually to verify that the leads are active, and for that we're going to be using Million Verifier. Now once we're inside, we're going to take our CSV file, drop it in here, and then click on start verification. And now we can see that 80% of the emails that we just got, they are valid. And this is actually really good. Usually you'll see it being around 60 or 70%. And sending cold emails to these emails down here is going to hurt your deliverability if they actually end up bouncing, which means that we're sending to a domain or an inbox that don't exist anymore. So we're going to download the good emails only, click on save, then head back to instantly, click on our campaign, click on leads, and then click on add leads, click on CSV, and then click on the Million Verifier one. Then we're basically going to map out the CSV file. We're just checking that it did it correctly. We do need the company name, so it's very important that we actually click on this and then click on company name. Basically anything that you'll need for your campaign, whether it's a custom value or if a subject line, you can go in here and you can map it out right here. The most important part is actually that you map the email field correctly, so make sure that it's the correct one. Then click on upload. It seems that it failed because we don't have the right email. So find work email, it's because it has an emoji inside. So right here, we click on do not import. And then down here, we should have the actual work email right here. Click on it, and then we're going to assign the email to this column instead. Click on upload. Now the whole campaign is built. We dropped in the leads, and now we want to make sure that when someone replies, we can actually give them a response back automatically from AI. And this is the part that almost nobody shows in terms of how to actually handle these replies. And then as you can see, we have an AI reply agent in the loop. And this works in two phases. First, it's going to need a human in the loop, HITL, to take a look and then accept the reply if it's good. It's going to do this for a little bit. You can see right here that I approved 15 emails and it sent a total of 30 and has a 93.1% involvement rate in terms of what's actually going out of our inbox. And the most important part of this is honestly not how many it replies to or how much time you save. It's the fact that it can take 5 minutes to actually send an email back. That's the most important part. Harvard did a study where people are 21 more times likely to not convert if you reply to them after 5 minutes. So this is probably the biggest thing in terms of actually booking meetings. It's just getting back to people immediately when they are interested. You basically just configure the agent. You can let it be in autopilot mode if you want to. You can tell it to handle follow-ups. You don't really have to set up any crazy configurations. It's based off all the email campaigns that are on Instantly, which is one of the biggest platforms. So it's constantly getting trained on how to handle these things. So you basically just set it up. You can choose the professional tone, how long it's going to be. Usually I would go concise or standard, but it's all something that you're going to be kind of improving on as you go and you see the first couple of emails. It also works in local languages, so that's pretty cool. Now, how do you actually scale this machine to be able to handle a $30,000 a month operation? And it's really simple. It's really just by multiplying what you're already doing. So right here, what I showed you now is that one domain equals 5 inboxes. And per inbox, we send out 20 to 25 emails per day. You can start sending 25 emails per inbox once they've aged for 2 or 3 months. But what this looks like initially is that you're going to have 5 inboxes for each domain, and you're going to be able to send 100 emails a day. And the only thing we'll need to do is to get to 1,000 emails a day, which will be able to send 30,000 emails a month. And what we need is 10 domains and 50 inboxes, which will get us to 1,000 emails a day. And this is the exact infrastructure that we've been using since 2024. The total cost for the 50 inboxes is going to be $250 a month. And then the 10 domains is going to be around $100 or $130 a year. And then for subscriptions like Instantly, you're going to be around $300 to $350 a month to actually have this running at all times. Now, to be completely direct, this machine books calls. It won't close them for you. The AI doesn't make money. Sales is what's going to be making the money. So the machine is going to be filling up your calendar, but what you do in those sales calls is going to be on you. And a calendar full of calls is pretty much worthless if you don't know what to do with them or how to close them. So my next video is going to be my entire process of what I do before a sales meeting, what I do on the sales meeting, and then how we close them as a client and keep them on as a recurring customer. Both of these skills, my frameworks, every single prompt that I've used, it's inside of my community. It's the third link in the description for the full cold email setup. You can start completely for free and you can go and grab them today. Hit subscribe. I post one of these every single week.